A demonstration of superior judgment.
How Riot ruined League of Legends best champion. Okay guys, grab a drink and just sit back. This will be a very interesting watch.
On January 20th, 2022, Riot Games released patch 12.2 for League of Legends. In that patch, Shen lost 1% max HP damage on each of his empowered Twilight Assault attacks.
Let's just say I still cry to this day with this nerf. This has been the worst nerf ever, bro, I swear.
This seemingly minor nerf became the catalyst for the eventual ruination of my favorite champion in League of Legends. This is the story of how Riot ruined Shen. Before we begin, I need to ask something from you, dear viewer. I'm asking you to stop playing Shen.
I'm not gonna lie, xPetu, I don't know about this one, Chief. This is the only champ I play, bro.
Since Riot refuses to listen to the Shen community, I have decided to take matters into my own hands. I am organizing the first ever champion-specific boycott in League of Legends. I am recruiting every Shen player that feels unhappy.
Am I in this list?
About the state of the champion.
I'm not on this list.
To join me in this
I'm not good enough, I guess.
boycott. My whole YouTube channel is dedicated to this one champion, but I will not play a single game of Shen until Riot fixes him. Later in this video, I will give a detailed rundown of how Riot can make Shen more fun for everyone, including Shen's opponents.
Those are some pretty big words. To never play Shen until Riot fixes him. Interesting. I wonder if he will keep his word with this one.
As long as Riot refuses to listen to the Shen community, I hope you will stand strong and refuse to play our beloved champion. Shen's pick rate is currently 2.4%, and I don't know how many of those players I can reach with this video, but we will bring that pick rate down, mark my words.
I wonder if the winner is actually lower now.
It is Riot's game, so they are free to balance it as they wish, but I will not play a single game of Shen in his current state. So, what exactly is wrong with Shen? To understand this, we must take a look back at Shen over the past few years. In the past, Shen was an early game fighter who could gather a lead by bullying the opponent in top lane. He could then translate that lead into other lanes by using his ultimate, Stand United.
Yeah, you could legit carry games back in the day. You could legit carry games. You were not completely a support champ.
Shen has always had a strong early game, but he has never been a scaling champion. If you fell behind on Shen, you would be punished by the opponents and be forced to play a very supportive playstyle for the rest of the game. This felt justified, as you had failed your job as an early game character. A lot of Shen players, including myself obviously, found this playstyle of early game kill aggression and proactive map control extremely fun.
Yeah, me included. It's the reason why I started playing Shen, because he was such a lane bully in lane from early on.
Fast forward to today, Shen is now a solo lane support who presses R on his teammates and activates Radiant Virtue to heal them.
Yeah, like how disgusting is that? This is just, I don't know.
To my understanding, the best way to play Shen in high elo right now is to not interact with your lane opponent, farm under tower, and hope that you have a good player on your team who you can support.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's better to take teleport than ignite, because you have no kill pressure in top lane anyways, and you need teleport to protect your tower platings. It's better to build Radiant Virtue and Redemption, because healing your teammates is more impactful than keeping yourself alive or doing more damage. It's better to play passively. It's better to not have fun.
Bro, the crazy thing is that there is two types of people that play Shen, right? The first one is one that is a supportive player. They pick Shen because they want to play for the team, they want to help the team with R and just build supportive items like Redemption, Radiant Virtue, and other support items. But there is another population of Shen players that they play this champion because he's a lane bully and he just destroys people early on. But the problem is that only the former is viable now, not the latter. So it's just some people legit don't care about Shen being like that because they just want that supportive playstyle. But for people who just picked up Shen because of his early game presence and stuff, then it's a big problem.
So, how did we get here? I will not pretend to understand all the underlying factors behind Shen's downfall, as League of Legends is too complex a system for me. I will, however, highlight what I believe are the two main reasons for Shen feeling unfun. Reason number 1. Direct nerfs to aggression. With the exception of patch 12.15, where Shen received a buff to his energy regeneration, the Eye of Twilight has suffered 3 nerfs in a row. In patch 11.20, Shen's passive shield amount was reduced. In patch 12.2, Shen's empowered Q damage was reduced. And in the infamous durability patch 12.10, Shen's passive and ultimate shields were nerfed.
I mean, from my knowledge, the first nerf to his passive was during Season 10 or something, when he was Giga busted, which I agree with, because Shen was broken in Season 10. And this nerf, the shield nerf, is from the durability update, and every champion got nerfed, not only Shen, so it just balances it out. It's still a nerf, but everyone else also got hurt. The main nerf is the Q nerf. That is just, it was when they made TP weaker by not allowing you to TP anywhere across the map from 15 minutes onwards. I think it's reduced to 12 now. So they were like, oh, Shen can do that from level 6. So let's nerf his Q, not his R. Kappa Riot, Kappa.
Although warranted, these nerfs have progressively made Shen's combat capability weaker. The worst offender with respect to making Shen less fun to play has been the empowered Q nerf, which reduced skill expression and narrowed the gap between bad and good Shen players.
Pretty much.
I believe that the other 2 nerfs were completely justified within the context of the game at the time. Riot made a systematic move to nerf shielding abilities in the durability update, and Shen just happened to be one of the many targets, so I'm not complaining about that change. What I am complaining.
Okay, so far Petu is being rational. I am a Shen OTP as well, but I'm just trying to think as pragmatically as possible without bias. Although it is arguably hard to do.
About is the trend of reducing Shen's aggression and proactive playmaking ability in exchange for a more supportive and, in my opinion, boring playstyle.
Yeah, giga boring. Giga boring, man. Like, they have shifted this champion's identity to be a support instead of a carry support or like a early game fighter. Pretty sad. Why am I complaining? Because it's boring. I'm not saying Shen is not good or that Shen is not strong. As long as Shen has stand united, he will always be a strong champ.
An additional example of this trend was the recent change to minion targeting AI, which inadvertently killed Shen's tower crash taunt maneuver, an advanced trading pattern to punish opponents under tower. Reason number 2. Items are too impactful. In modern League of Legends, champion strength is largely defined by the strength of their best items.
Yeah, this is another disgusting thing that Riot has done over the past 3 years. The champion's identity is based on what item they have. They did announce that they're gonna be removing mythics, so maybe it's not as bad of a factor looking at the future, but that depends on how well that patch lands with Riot's removal of mythic items. But I'm not sure if it will be enough, because the nerfs still remain.
Especially mythic items. This trend has made Shen less fun to play for me personally, as I believe his strongest item to be Radiant Virtue. I don't believe in judging items by their win rate due to unavoidable biases, but Radiant Virtue is Shen's highest win rate first item, in case you were wondering.
If you are building hard still and you are not in silver, stop building that item. Stop it.
Nobody is forcing me to build Radiant Virtue and other support items like Redemption, but I have a hard time building other items when I know that I'm hurting my team's chances of winning by doing so. Item strength hurts Shen in another way as well, because he is a low economy champion by nature. Shen's kit has no wave clear, and he's forced to sacrifice his tower platings to use his ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, you do delay your mythic by 1k gold with Bummy Cinder, and mythic items are very important, so it plays a role as well.
Ability. If you go to a website like League of Graphs and check Shen's matchup data, there is not a single matchup where
How disgusting is that, by the way? That is pretty disgusting.
Shen has a gold lead at 15 minutes on average. In the rare matches where I do get ahead, my lead is gone by the time the opponent reaches their first item. If the enemy bruiser purchases Divine Sunderer or Blade of the Ruined King, for example, Shen cannot 1v1 them ever, no matter the lead.
Yeah, that's the case for most champs, but yeah, you can be 10-0, but if enemy Rela gets Blade, or if enemy Fiora gets Divine Sunderer, or Jax gets Divine Sunderer, and you're ahead, doesn't mean anything, you lose automatically.
This once again reinforces the passive, non-interactive gameplay that is much too common for Shen currently. These are some of the reasons why I'm personally not enjoying Shen at the moment. Next, I will list my proposed changes to make Shen more fun. I am fully aware that I'm not a game designer, and playing one champion in one video game for thousands of hours does not qualify me to make decisions for a billion-dollar company. However, I believe that it is easiest for me to express the pain points of playing Shen through proposing concrete changes. I will start by listing changes that I believe would make Shen more fun to play against. These tend to be nerfs from the perspective of gameplay balance. But wait, what's this? Riot has just announced that they will be removing mythic items from League of Legends in January 2024. This will obviously have a large impact on item balance as a whole.
Just hope it's good for Shen, because it's a bit boring to be a support.
However, unless a systematic nerf to item strength is planned, I doubt that the aforementioned pain points will be fixed completely. We will have to wait and see what the impact of this change is. Repeated buffs to other top laners and the nerfs to Shen's aggression will still remain a problem for Shen, despite these good changes to the item system. Nerf number 1. Introduce a delay to Stand United's shield. This change helps with the common frustration of Shen saving low HP targets from death without warning. The opponent should have an indicator that an enemy will receive a 1000 health shield.
I mean, it's not a bad change. It's not a bad change. What they could also do is reduce the scaling on it, so the shield is lower, and you could also increase the cooldown, I guess.
Soon. This is in line with Riot's addition of incoming healing being shown on HP bars. Nerf number 2. Decrease Shen's taunt duration at early ranks. This change would make Shen more fun to face by introducing more counterplay to early traits. Shen's Shadow Dash currently taunts for 1.5 seconds regardless of ability rank. I believe that the taunt duration should scale up with respect to ability rank.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. I don't really have much of an opinion. It will still be good even if it has a scaling.
Nerf number 3. Decrease non-empowered Q damage to champions. Currently, Shen
Yeah, I see that.
deals a fair amount of damage with his non-empowered Q. Enemies should be rewarded for successfully dodging or outspacing the Spirit Blade drag-through. Decreasing the non-empowered Q damage to minions would only hurt Shen's non-existent wave clear even further. Thus, the nerf only to damage to champions. Next, I will continue to changes that I believe would make Shen more fun to play. These tend to be buffs in nature, which can be counterbalanced with the aforementioned nerfs. Buff number 1. Increase empowered Q damage. Shen should be rewarded for good blade placement, and thus empowered Q needs to do more damage. There are multiple ways of implementing said damage, but one interesting option would be to add AD scaling in one form or another to his empowered Q.
I mean, maybe scaling, AD scaling would be a bit too much, but just increasing the current damage, I feel like would still be decent. But I guess if you take the nerfs that he mentioned in mind, then you could do that. I just think he just needs the buff on his Q. No other buffs, legit.
This change would also add build variety, which personally I find to be one of Shen's most fun
Same, bro. It's like, I am a fan of the technology, bro. I know what you mean.
aspects. Buff number 2. Fix W bugs.
Most inconsistent ability ever, bro, I swear. The things I've seen with this ability.
Shen's W is one of the most inconsistent abilities in the game. It is unique compared to Jax's
Great minds think alike. We use the same word. Me and Petu are the same. You know, I'm challenger, Cup is challenger, not Cup.
Counter-Strike, Fiora's parry, or Teemo's blind, because it does not actually block auto attacks. It only reduces their damage to 0 and mitigates certain on-hit effects. Or at least that's how it should work. Currently, if Shen has a shield, for example from his passive, his W will not block damage at all. This is a well-known bug which was introduced.
The amount of times I've died for that, bro. You don't understand the amount of times I've died for that. And also the Fiora bug, that is the biggest one. But you also have other bugs, like he's probably gonna mention them. Fiora parry, it doesn't get blocked. Divine Sunderer doesn't get proc. Runes don't get procced. Pretty disgusting. Fix the game, Riot.
Introduced sometime in the past 2 years, but Riot has refused to fix it since its origin. There are countless other inconsistencies with Shen's W, the most baffling of which is the fact that Fiora can now proc vitals through Shen's block. My bottom line is this: if I use an 18-second cooldown ability to block one auto attack, I would like for that auto attack to be blocked. Buff number 3. Incentivize ranking up W. Shen's late game is non-existent, in part due to his E and W abilities having little to no scaling. Putting a point into W simply reduces its cooldown by 1.5 seconds. By adding additional ability rank scaling to this ability, Riot could smooth out Shen's power curve and give him some extra power in the late game. One idea is to increase the block effect's duration, or to give the ability a passive component, which could grant, for example, armor and magic resistance to Shen.
I'm not saying no to the resistances on the W. It wouldn't be bad, but I don't know if it's needed. Like, I feel like you can just buff the Q and leave the rest as they are, and Shen can be okay, along with the nerfs that Petu mentioned. But it's not bad if you got some resistances with the W. It's interesting.
I have many more ideas on making Shen more fun, and would love to elaborate further on this topic, but I sense that the viewer has gotten my point by now. I also predict a certain type of response to this video. Some people will say that I'm a delusional one-trick who just wants buffs for his champion.
I mean, expected. Like, if I was to listen to a non-OTP complain like this, I would think the same. Like, it just is the way it is.
Some people will say that I am complaining for no reason and should just adapt to the way the champion is now. Some people will say that I am just washed and Shen is still in a good state. To all those people, I say this. I played Shen to Challenger in 2017, when no one else played him. I played Shen to Challenger in 2020, when he was in meta and overpowered. I played Shen to Challenger in 2022, when he was so bad in top lane that mid lane became...
Bro, Petu is legit some next level guy. He played Shen mid and he got Challenger out of nowhere. This guy is a legit psychopath. I respect it though. But I'm coming for your spot, Petu. I'm coming for your spot.
His best role. I have played Shen to Challenger every single year after his rework. And you know why I did it? Because the champion was fun to play. That's all I ever cared about. I have probably spent more time developing Shen builds than anyone else on this planet, because he has always been fun to play. I love this champion, and I want people to experience how fun Shen can be. But that will not happen in his current state. So if you care about Shen, you will join me in this boycott and stop playing him. Now, it's your move, Riot.
Interesting, okay. Will I be part of the boycott? No, I probably won't. I like to play Shen. I like my Shen. I want to climb. I want to get Challenger. I want to become one of the best Shen players in the world. Will it matter if I take part or if everyone takes part or if no one takes part? I don't know, because Riot bases their change mostly on win rate and stuff. Does Shen need a change to reform his identity? 100%. Bring back the fighter Shen, not the supportive Shen. Or bring back both. That's it from me, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been Nick, and have a good day.